Okay, so let's start with a super simple scenario. Just imagine two people, right? They're both applying for the exact same job.
And get this, they've got the same degree, the same experience on paper, they even give pretty much identical answers in the interview.
But at the end of the day, only one of them gets that offer. The other one? Sent packing.
So, why? What was the actual difference maker? Well, that question leads us straight to a really powerful and, let's be honest, often totally unfair shortcut our brain takes.
Yeah, this invisible force actually has a name. And, psychologists have been studying it for decades now. So let's dive into the science of what's really going on inside our heads. It's called the halo effect, and it's basically this mental shortcut your brain loves to use. When it spots just one great quality, say physical attractiveness, it just kind of paints this glowing halo over everything else about that person.
And because of that halo, your brain instantly, automatically jumps to a conclusion. Hey, this person must be super intelligent, right?
It also assumes they're trustworthy. Someone you can really count on, someone you can believe.
And on top of that, it assumes they're just more successful in general. All of this, just from one single first impression. It's wild.
Now, the craziest part about all this, it's not a conscious choice we're making. Your brain is firing off these connections completely on autopilot, literally in milliseconds, faster than you can even register it.
So this idea isn't exactly brand new, but back in 1977, that was a huge moment. That's when psychologists really started to see just how shocking and widespread this bias is. And everything since then, all the modern studies, they just confirm it impacts us every single day. But you know what the most important point on this timeline is? It's right now, because you are learning how to finally see it.
And the impact? Oh, it's absolutely massive. We have solid research showing the halo effect leads to real, life-changing outcomes. We're talking about better grades, lighter sentences in court, even who wins elections, and for sure, how much money we make.
Just think about that last point for a second. Some studies suggest that employees who are seen as more attractive can earn up to 20% more than their coworkers for doing the exact same job. A 20% bump just based on looks. That's incredible.
But here's the thing. It's not all sunshine and rainbows for people living under that halo. This whole bias has a much darker, more complicated side to it. It's like a shadow that follows the light.
I mean, can you imagine the pressure? When people just assume you're perfect, the expectations are through the roof. So if you make one tiny mistake, bam, the fall from that pedestal is brutal, and the judgment is incredibly harsh.
And for women in certain fields, especially, that halo can start to feel a lot more like a cage. They might be seen as just decorative, not actually competent. They have to fight so much harder to be taken seriously for their actual skills and intelligence.
Okay, so we've seen the shiny side and its shadow. But what happens when we flip this whole thing on its head? When the bias works in the complete opposite direction?
Well, that's what's known as the reverse halo effect. Some people call it the horns effect. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Just one perceived negative trait makes people's brains unconsciously assume everything else about you is negative too.
And the difference is just stark. You can see it right here. With the halo, you're assumed competent, trustworthy. But with the reverse halo, you're unfairly labeled as lazy, untrustworthy, all before you've even had a chance to say a single word.
Okay, I know that sounds pretty bleak, but this next part, this is the most important part of our whole conversation, because you are not powerless against this. We can actually learn how to break its spell. And the good news is there is a powerful antidote to the halo effect, and it's something that literally every single one of us can start using today. So what is it? It's awareness. That's it. It's that simple. Study after study has shown that just knowing this bias exists is the first and most critical step to weakening its grip on you. Your awareness really is the key. So here's your toolkit for seeing clearly. Step 1. Just acknowledge it exists. Admit that it's real, and yeah, it probably affects you too. Step 2, question those first impressions. That gut feeling, challenge it. Ask yourself, wait, why do I feel this way? And step 3, make a conscious effort to look deeper, to judge people on their character, on their actions, not on the wrap. So at the end of the day, here's what it all comes down to. The halo effect is real. It is absolutely powerful, but it is not destiny. It doesn't have to be, because now that you can see this invisible force, you have the power to look right past it. And that right there changes everything.